Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. My name is Carl Froch. I'm a former 4-time super middleweight world boxing champion, and I was last year inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I've had quite a good career, but I don't talk about it that much. Right, this episode I'm going to talk about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. What a fight. I mean, wow. We'll talk about it in a minute. But for now, this episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino.
So Ryan Garcia pulls off a massive upset via majority decision, flooring Haney 3 times. Did you agree with the decision?
Majority decision, no. I agreed with the decision. I thought Ryan Garcia did an absolutely fantastic job. What a great fight it was, unbelievable. The reason he was an underdog is because nobody thought he could beat Devin Haney. I've got to be honest, I think a lot of that was to do with his antics on the build-up. He was showing signs of mental health. He was being very strange and very outspoken. Speaks the truth, similar to what we're doing here on Froch on Fighting. We tell the truth, we tell it how it is. We pull no punches, we give our honest opinion. And Ryan Garcia said some very strange things on the build-up, which I'm not going to go into. He also mentioned it after in the post-fight press conference, which I won't go into either. But let's focus on the fight. The reason he was an underdog is one, because of the build-up and the way he was speaking, the way he was behaving and acting on the fight, pre-fight build-up, but also jumping on the scales. And not to mention the fact that Devin Haney is unbeaten, is a great fighter. I've had him down as probably the next, maybe he's not, but I had him as the next Floyd Mayweather. Now, I'm not so sure now, because Floyd Mayweather doesn't happen to him what happened to Devin Haney last night. Ryan Garcia absolutely beat him up because he dropped him. How many times did he drop him? 3 times. Probably dropped him more than that, but the referee, and by the way, while I'm talking about the referee, I thought the referee, he had a bad night. Or he was just blatantly pro Devin Haney, because Haney was holding a lot, ducking low. Yes, Ryan Garcia played his part. He was twisting to the side and turning his back a little bit, like turning away from Haney in defence later on. But I thought the referee was pro Devin Haney. I just thought he'd give him too many chances to hold. He gave him a couple of warnings, never deducted a point. But as soon as Ryan Garcia threw a punch on the break, when he was frustrated, he just knocked down Devin Haney in round 7, big left hook, boom on the chin, Haney dropped. And the referee gave him all the time he wanted to get up, give him a count, pushed Ryan Garcia out of the way. Then when Ryan Garcia is going in for the finish or going in to try and put some more shots on him, the ref's getting involved, getting in the middle, messing up. Haney's holding, the ref's not warning him. If he is warning him, he's not warning him a second time, he's not deducting any points. All of a sudden, Ryan Garcia, out of pure frustration, throws a punch on the break. He's entitled to throw a punch on the break. He's frustrated, he's pissed off. The referee's in the way, he's trying to get the stoppage. So what does the ref do? He don't warn him, he immediately takes a point off. It's out of order. And when I see that, it pisses me off, because the referee should be neutral, and I don't think he was. I think it was all Haney. But anyway, Ryan Garcia got the job done. He dropped Haney heavy in round 7. He dropped him in round 10, and he dropped him in round 11. And to be honest, Ryan Garcia didn't look like he was in the best of shape. He was fading late on. I don't think he has taken the training that serious. He's done enough to get to the point where he's gone in there and he's won the fight and he's put on an amazing performance and caused this big upset. But I don't think that he was out of shape as such. But when he had the finish there for him, when he had the knockdowns, he couldn't seem to put the shots together to get the finish. And I think that's down to his conditioning. But he'll come back stronger and better from that. But he did take weight off. He got down to 143 pounds. The fight was made at 140, and he had a bet, $500,000 every pound. So he had to pay Haney. I don't know if he's paid him or not. Apparently he is paying him $1.5 million for being 3 pounds overweight. But this guy can't do 140 pounds. Ryan Garcia just can't make it. He said after, it's impossible to get my body down to that size and that shape. He had a 6-pack. He looked slim. It looked like he took enough weight off, and he was still 143 pounds. It didn't help, because I talked about the controversial build-up and the fact that everyone thought he was going to get beat. It didn't help sitting on the scales, or standing on the scales, necking a bottle of beer. Whether that was beer or agua, who knows. But he drunk what appeared to be a bottle of beer. That would have weighed about a pound or a pound and a half, a bottle of water or beer. I hope it wasn't beer, but it might have been. If it was, then he's just a badass. Remember Ricardo Mayorga, who was the same, fag, beer, but then he got chinned, so that didn't work. But anyway, Ryan Garcia just must have put a pound on before the scale. So it was showing a bit of disrespect, a bit of nonchalance, and a bit of, I don't know, was it camaraderie? Was it all for the show? Has he pulled off the biggest con in boxing? Has he convinced Devin Haney and his team that he's not taking it seriously? And then he's turned up and done that. But anyway, A droppage in round 7, a droppage in round 10, a droppage in round 11. Probably a couple more knockdowns there that should have been counted that weren't. Just looked like he was there, ready to get ripped off. But he got the job done. The 113, the judge that scored it a draw, sling your hook, mate. You don't deserve to be in boxing. Disgraceful. The other 2 judges had it right. Referee, you had a piss poor night. I've already told you about what I think of that. But Ryan Garcia, King Ryan Garcia, long live the King. The King is back. That was a performance, a great performance, a performance that you can get excited about because he was landing that left hook, boom, on the chin of Haney. Haney didn't know what was happening, didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do. He was ducking low, he was trying to get refuge, trying to save himself. But listen, maybe Devin Haney's not the fighter we thought he was. Maybe at 140, giving away £3 and then however much on the night. I don't think he looked like a middleweight like Eddie Hearn alluded to, but he did look bigger, Ryan Garcia, on the night. But they were the rules. He's paid his fine, £3 too heavy. He's gone in there and he's put a whooping up Devin Haney. So nobody can complain. It is what it is.
There is talks of a rematch. Garcia didn't win the title because he missed the weight. Devin Haney retains as a result but loses for the first time. Do you want to see it again? Do you want to see the rematch?
Absolutely, I'd see that again. So Ryan Garcia didn't make the weight, 143.5 pounds or just over 143 pounds, which is why I said earlier, $1.5 million fine, or lost the bet to Haney. But anyway, he won the fight, so he probably don't care. He evidently doesn't care because he's just so cool, smoking his cigar the next day, just talking about how he's had everyone over and nobody believed him. He's gone and done the right thing. He's gone and done the job that nobody thought he could do. The reason I'm smiling is because I'm glad and I'm happy for him. And I've got to go back to when I said he quit against Tank Davis. Let's be honest, quitting against Gervonta Tank Davis when he's putting pressure on you and you're having not really much success, then you get hit with a sickening body shot. I still think you should get up before the 9th, 10th second, and then instead of jumping up on the 10th second. So I stand by that. That was a quit, but it's evident he cannot make 140 pounds. He was under serious duress physically, and he's got Tank Davis in front of him, giving him some serious punishment at 140 pounds. So Ryan Garcia, the King, has shown there that he can't do 140 pounds. So to answer your question about the rematch, the WBC title, it's a little bit, I don't know what's happening with this belt. It's a bit grey, should I say. He couldn't fight for the title because he didn't make the weight, and that's what happens. If you don't make the weight, the title's not online. So Devin Haney retains by the fact that the belt wasn't up for grabs. But it's unclear. I think it's Maurizio Sullivan hasn't given a statement yet, but the WBC title apparently is vacant. I'm hearing by different sources that it's vacant, but I don't know why Devin Haney would be stripped of his belt because he lost the fight because the belt wasn't up for grabs. It was it was Ryan Garcia that couldn't fight for the title because he didn't make the weight. But is it been vacated? Is it vacant? Has he had the belt took on? We don't know yet. But regardless of that, the rematch, if it does happen, which I'd love to see, I wouldn't want to see it down at 140 because, as I've just said there, Ryan Garcia can't fight at 140. He took that body shot against Tank Davis. I called him a quitter, and I'm not taking it back, but I'm making an allowance for him. You know what, Ryan Garcia, you deserve respect. You stayed on the floor against Tank Davis, but you was dead at the weight. I don't know what it feels like to be dead at the weight, if I'm honest. I've always made the weight nice, but from having Robert McCracken as my coach over the years, struggling at the weight, and speaking to people like Matthew Macklin, who got done with a body shot to Triple G, and other fighters over the years like Tony Bellew, struggling to make light heavyweight and getting done by Donnie Stevenson, for example. When you're dead at the weight, it's dangerous and you can feel it when you're in there. So Ryan Garcia has redeemed himself, the ultimate redemption. He's gone in there with Devin Haney, a massive underdog. Nobody thought he could do it, and he's pulled off this fight in fantastic style. I'm still excited. I've never been on the edge of my seat screaming at the television as much as I have for this fight. What a fight. And Devin Haney, to be honest, great fighter, massive talent, but not what I thought he was. The way he fights, his style, his survival tactics, and not offensive enough. I don't know. He's a great fighter, don't get me wrong. Top fighter. But King Ryan there put a proper whooping up him, and he's back. So I don't think the fight should happen with him if it's at 140. I'd like to see Ryan Garcia maybe take on Tank Davis at catchweight. That would be a good one.
So just so you know, Oscar De La Hoya said he wants to see Ryan Garcia do a catchweight with Tank Davis. Ryan was too drained last time, he said.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Why didn't you tell me you had that question next? I've just answered it all. So Oscar De La Hoya.
You speak too fast.
Oscar De La Hoya agrees with the Cobra because I don't think it's fair to ask Ryan Garcia to get down to 140 to fight a rematch with Gervonta Davis. I'm not saying it's fair for Gervonta Davis coming up in weight, certainly not up to 145 or 147, but if this fight against Davis can be made at a catch weight, King Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis, rematch at a catch weight, that's a money fight and it's an exciting fight that everybody can get behind.
So what do you think about this one? Ryan Garcia has tweeted, "Let's run it in London at the O2. I will fracture your spleen and then eat it."
Can you fracture a spleen? I thought a spleen was
that is
an organ.
Benn.
You can rupture the spleen to Benn.
Conor Benn.
Oh, Conor Benn.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Conor Benn can't fight in London, so that one's off. He's not got a licence.
Of course, yeah.
So that fight, who said that?
This is Ryan Garcia.
So Ryan Garcia wants to take on Conor Benn. Probably, I don't know.
So he's just called, just called out Conor Benn.
Well, I don't think Ryan Garcia and Eddie Hearn, and he obviously looks after Conor Benn, are best friends. I think Eddie thought that, and to be fair to Eddie, most people thought that Haney was going to do the job. Eddie's now, he obviously looks after Conor Benn, and Ryan Garcia calling out Conor Benn and doing something to his spleen. I don't know if he's been watching Silence of the Lambs lately. He wants to eat his liver. But I don't think that's going to work in London. If it does, it's a good fight. But what was you going to say about Eddie Hearn? You had a question about his dad.
So it was Ryan Garcia's father and Eddie Hearn had a bit of a clash. What did you make of the exchange? It was quite funny.
I thought it was quite funny. I thought Eddie Hearn handled himself really well. I thought he was classy. But I mean, Ryan Garcia's dad walked by and went, "Go fuck yourself." Like that. And Eddie was like, "You what? Go fuck yourself." And then he called him a piece of shit. And Eddie was like, "Look, what's going on?" But Eddie just told him, "Look, I thought he was going to lose. He's done well. Your kid's done well. I've given him credit. I'm giving you credit now. I've given you some credit." And then he comes over and shakes Eddie's hand, apologises to Eddie. Eddie accepts the apology. So everybody's happy. But it was all pre-fight build-up beef. But yeah, I think Eddie handled it well, and he was very classy in his response to Ryan Garcia's adrenaline-fueled dad, because obviously his son's just beat Devin Haney in emphatic fashion, and then he walks by and sees Eddie Hearn doing an interview. But Eddie's under the fire because Eddie gets involved in the promotion, and he builds the fights well, and he's passionate about his fighters. He backs his fighters. You know, when he was promoting me, he was in there and he backed me. He wanted me to win. I'm not so sure about our first fight with George Groves, actually, Eddie. He jumped in the ring. He didn't clap. He's still moaning about the stuff. But anyway, that's another story. He was certainly happy when I beat him at Wembley Stadium in front of all them people.
So what do you think Ryan Garcia will do next?
Yeah, do you know what? Regardless of what Ryan Garcia does next, and I'd like to maybe see the Gervonta Davis fight at a catch weight, maybe 143, maybe 145 pound, who knows, but not at 140. But regardless of what Ryan Garcia does next, he just needs to be acknowledged. He needs to be given massive credit, which I think I've given him a lot. I think I blew a bit of smoke up his arse, but he deserves it. That was a fantastic win. I don't think he was in the best possible shape, and he still pulled it off. Devin Haney, everyone thought he was invincible, too sharp, too fast, too well prepared, he's going to do the job. Garcia's got in there, quite relaxed, quite nonchalant, drinking his beer on the way in, talking a bit of madness on the build-up to it. Nobody really believed in him, and he's got in there and put on a great performance. And you know, I know Luke Campbell dropped him, but he beat Luke Campbell. The only fight he's lost, is to Gervonta Davis. Ryan Garcia's only lost to the best of the best. Gervonta Tank Davis is a phenomenal fighter, and he lost with a body shot whilst drained at the weight. So if you cancel off that loss and just say that's the reason he lost, then this is Ryan Garcia back in business. Maybe he is as good as we thought he was a while ago, and he's not just an internet social media sensation. Good-looking kid, fast hands, good power, that left hook, which he put Devin Haney down a couple of times with. Ryan Garcia is now back on the top. How one fight makes such a big difference, but I just want to give a massive round of applause and accolade and loads of credit to Ryan Garcia for getting in there against all the odds and doing the job. And he's back, regardless of what he does next, and I'd like to see him in a rematch with Tank Davis. He needs to be acknowledged and he needs to be flying high and enjoy a little bit of rest, because that was one hell of a performance. So this is it for another episode of Froch on Fighting. All about King Ryan Garcia. King Garcia, long live the king. What a performance. No one thought he could do it. He went in there and he did it. I love to see a story like this. I mean, gets written off. Nobody gives him a chance. I don't know what the odds were. Should have had a little bet. But anyway, this has been another episode of Froch on Fighting. If you're enjoying this ever-growing, massive boxing channel, the best in the business apparently, gets all the views, all the hits. The averages are up. Everyone's watching the Cobra. in all seriousness, if you're enjoying this channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. It's going to help us keep growing. These are going to keep coming, and we're going to get bigger and better. And if you don't like it, just look at the smile, because it ain't going anywhere. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.